here tonight, but hope I can live for the fight, live for the fight. I just wanna make things better to the point things couldn't be better, couldn't be better. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through my life, can't return to life. Now I know that's easier said than done, ain't it? Such a beautiful people, they can't but burn hatred. I know it said the grass is greener on the other side, but even at such a height, you're only such a size. Tell me, would you tell a cat it ain't a cat king? Because it's got a patch and it ain't one color scheme. I tell a dog it can't go around wagging its tail, cause it ain't long enough, I have a fluffy curl. Those analogies for reality, simple patterns when using human morality. I'm not trying to argue any ideology, I'm just speaking on the ideas we all can see. Yo, I believe in a better tomorrow, as sure as the moon leaves and the sun follows. Sure, the gravity on this earth is borrowed, and the weight we bear have been more than a carload. But y'all know a helping hand is impartial. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light, can't burn through our light. I'm supposed to be here tonight, but hope I can live for the fight, live for the fight. I just wanna make things better to the point things couldn't be better, couldn't be better. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light, can't return to life. Okay, okay. Tell me something, yo. When did it become okay, okay to let a change fade away? When did it become okay, okay to let a change fade away? To let a change fade away, a change fade away, to let a change fade away, to let a change fade away. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light, can't burn through our light. I'm supposed to be here tonight, but hope I can live for the fight, live for the fight. I just wanna make things better to the point things couldn't be better, couldn't be better. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light, can't return to life. You can't replace a light. You can't replace a light. You can't replace a light. You can't replace a life. You can't replace the 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 life. You can't replace a life. You can't replace a life. You can't replace a life. Peace. Yo, I'd like to thank y'all for joining me today, this evening. But I got a lot on my mind and I'd like to address it. So vibe with me. I feel like they've just awoken the beast. If I'm right, no more numbers asleep. Beats will snare to the beats. Hearts are marching the streets. Cars stored in the fleets. Nothing harbor the seats. How are we to succeed? We aren't allowed to breathe. Drowning without a cease. Seeing flesh compounded on peeps. We weaves increase to a cease. Many me's becoming extinct. Mother's birth ends as a lease. Fathers unravel the breach. We go through this without a choice. No King Malcolm's to spark our voice. They exclude to make fires moist. Only truth I'll exploit. In hopes I said something that's worth the quote. Lights finally come on. Your mind's running off of a boat. Look, let's be more outspoken. A passion that starts open. Now I know that most of your palms closing, but please spread a wing and signal righteous motion. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light, can't burn through our light. I'm supposed to be here tonight, but hope I can live for the fight, live for the fight. I just wanna make things better to the point things couldn't be better, couldn't be better. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light, can't return to life. Now I know that's easier said than done, ain't it? Such a beautiful people, they can't but burn hatred. I know it said the grass is greener on the other side, but even at such a height, you're only such a size. Tell me, would you tell a cat it ain't a cat king? Because it's got a patch and it ain't one color scheme. I tell a dog it can't go around wagging its tail, cause it ain't long enough, I have a fluffy curl. Those analogies for reality, simple patterns when using human morality. I'm not trying to argue any ideology, I'm just speaking on the ideas we all can see. Yo, I believe in a better tomorrow, as sure as the moon leaves and the sun follows. Sure, the gravity on this earth is borrowed, and the weight we bear have been more than a carload. But y'all know a helping hand is impartial. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light, can't burn through our light. I'm supposed to be here tonight, but hope I can live for the fight, live for the fight. I just wanna make things better to the point things couldn't be better, couldn't be better. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light, can't return to life. Okay, okay.
Yo, what up?
Goddamn,
This is
that's loud.
Admin Negro Lantern, and you are chilling here with us on Nerd Unpacked Blerd Lines. Yo, if you are not familiar, allow me to do this again. I am Admin Negro Lantern and my co-hosts.
Admin Blade.
And you know what the deal is. Now, a little disclaimer. For those of y'all who are not aware, we get a little rowdy here. With
We say nigga shit.
that right there. Yo, we've been MIA for a second.
Yes.
Had a lot going on with my music career. This young man just
You better
had
not.
a
You
child.
better not announce it
He
before I
just
fucking
had a
announce
child.
it.
I did it on some nigga shit.
God, well, I couldn't announce my child first. Why you have to be the one to announce to the world I had a child? Anyway, yes, I just had a child last week. That's why we couldn't be live because I was in the delivery room Monday, and even though he was born Monday, I was like, shit, I'm gonna be here all fucking day, and I was just too goddamn tired to make it on a Tuesday show. So I spent that whole day at the hospital with my child, who is
Y'all heard the cliches? They've already started.
shut the hell up. Anyways, so I spent that whole day at the hospital with my child. Yeah, magical feeling.
That's nasty.
Shut up.
That is positively disgusting.
How?
It's just disgusting.
You got what? How many you got? Like 3?
I got like 84 children, bro.
Shit. Well, okay, you talk about this. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, it feels great. It feels good. I mean, he doesn't do shit but eat, sleep, and poop right now. So there's really nothing exciting happening right now. So
It's gonna be mad phenomenal how fast that child grows up. In
I
this
am
past
not
year.
ready for him to start walking.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
am
what- yeah.
not ready for that. Like I know when he starts walking, it's a fucking wrap.
So, as you all pile in, the usual, which is be active and share the live.
Speaking
Don't
of
forget-
shares, I am currently going viral on a meme that I created. I have like 1.5
Minnow, it took him all of 3 minutes.
2 minutes and 22 seconds. Yeah, I'm like 1.5K shares in about 4 hours. So I feel a little good right now. I feel good. If only I can get them same goddamn shares on this, I'd be better. But progress. By the way, we are streaming on Twitch now.
Yes, we are streaming on Twitch. Suck our cable cords.
Dick,
I was.
I don't give a fuck. We gave y'all a disclaimer. We on Twitch now. Yeah. We on Twitch. Shit. Next is what's the next major platform? We're on Twitch. We're on Facebook. We're on
Ian's asking how can we
YouTube.
go live. So Ian, if you do not mind, bear with us, bro. Weather is pretty bad out
Yes.
here in Dallas.
Weather is shitty right now, bro.
yeah,
it
it's
was like cold
horrible.
as fuck yesterday. Today
foggy
is
as bro. You could barely see,
yeah.
man.
Today is like fucking hit and miss jutsu outside. Like, bro, you got to bear with us today, man. Today
Yeah.
was a bitch.
So if you will allot us that privilege, please bear with us. Anyway,
If y'all don't know who we're talking about the content creator for Tea Time,
Admin Invincible.
Admin Invincible, who goes on right after us. So if y'all still stick around with us,
Also, congratulations to Admin Invincible because Tough Skin Comics, which he is the CEO of, Tough Skin Comics is almost at 1,000 followers in just a very, very short time. So shout out to Admin Invincible and Admin Static for their progress with the company.
yes, sir. So let's get into this today's show because I really feel like this would be a good one. Let's jump right into Joker reviews.
Yes, I
Wait, before we get into that, we want to give a special shout out to the hundreds of people that followed Nerd Unpacked over the past
beat
2
me to
weeks.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So without y'all, this is nothing.
Nothing.
I'm not a modest person, so I don't know what else to say besides that.
Well, I'll say it. Gratitude, guys. It's a speechless kind of situation, man, because we went from like just the people who knew us to like we've definitely branched out now, and not to mention like now today we are on Twitch. So this is big, man. We've come a long way in just 15 episodes because today is the 15th episode.
Yes.
So it didn't take us as long as it takes most other people who do podcasts, and we are blessed for that.
You know what it is? I feel like we all feed off each other as far as like the little group that we have, like we feed off Invincible. Invincible feeds off us. Then we all feed off Static. Static feeds off. Like we all came from like that fucking first little circle, and we just branched out. Yet we still fucking feed off each other. So it's like one person's success is still the other people's success, because even then when they branch out, like say for instance, say we start doing like actual live shits like in front of an audience, and we get big, and then say Invincible starts doing live audiences in front of actual people, our success is gonna branch off to his success, which is gonna make him successful also. So that's like the coolest thing about us. Like it's always shared success, and it's like nobody really cares. Like we don't care if Invincible gets bigger than us. Invincible doesn't care if we get bigger than him.
Yeah, it's a win-win ratio.
It's a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah,
so
I definitely see where you're coming from there. Thanks for these shares that we're getting, guys. Thank you. Also, if you are here, do not linger. Speak up. As usual, we always offer everybody an opportunity to get your shout outs, whether it's somebody's birthday, somebody who passed away, or you just want to say hello to that girl that you never speak to in person because she just so happens to watch this show.
You can call in at 469-608-1886 if you so choose. So yeah, that's another good feature.
Yes, always share your opinion. Even if you don't want to text it, you can verbally call in.
Controversial topic number 1, Joker review.
Yes, okay, let's get right into this. I thought the Joker, I saw the Joker movie. Admin Blade has saw the Joker movie, right? I personally thought the Joker movie was a good movie. Let me be clear. I thought it was a good movie in the context of, that didn't make me regret coming to the theater. But it is not the masterpiece that the moviegoers have tried, and not all, because there is a group, a minority. Well, not even a minority. There is half and half on the conversation.
There's
that
a bunch of people that took. There's a bunch of people that took the name Joker and ran with it.
Yeah. So for me, speaking for me, before we go any deeper, the movie was good, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, and I do not believe the movie has playback value, and I'll leave that at that right now. So, for you, what's the Joker movie? Rated.
It was what do I rate it on a scale from 1 to 10?
I'm saying good, bad, great, phenomenal masterpiece.
Decent. Would I watch it again if it came on TV? No. Would I buy the movie? Hell no. If someone invited me to the movies to watch it and they bought the ticket, I might go, yes. I just don't think it wasn't that great of a movie. Again, I think people took the name Joker and Clownface and ran with it. It wasn't a good Joker movie. People are going to argue this, and I feel this is probably going to be the most controversial thing that we've said. But the movie was not a good Joker movie. To me, it was a good movie highlighting the importance of mental illness, because you never know what someone is going through. And contrary to popular belief, that entire scenario could not have happened to the everyday person. Like, they clearly established in the beginning that he's off his meds. So everybody's trying to make it seem like, this could have happened to any one of us. No, it couldn't have. It definitely couldn't have.
Okay, so let's reach right there. So I agree with you to a degree. You are right. There are so many people who keep trying to say that they can relate to this character. You cannot relate to Arthur. Stop it. What is it that you think you can relate to? Are you going around telling us that you are on the spectrum, and you are on the spectrum as deep as Arthur was, right? Now, going from that, because you'd also have to admit that your mom's on the spectrum too. So anyway, going from that.
Time out. Hey, producer, you gotta fix our tags on Twitch. I'm not sure what you have them set as, but our tags on Twitch are messed up.
You gotta fix them. Unprofessional.
God damn it, Rory.
You could have so okay, elaborating on that, where I disagree is that the movie is not about mental illness at all. So
I didn't say that's what the movie was about. I said it is a good.
You said that the movie has mental awareness subject. It doesn't, though. There is no mental awareness subject in the movie. The movie is not trying to make you aware of mental illness. Proof of this is that it's not Arthur coming to a break. Well, let me elaborate. The movie's not about a man going to his breaking point, because I know people have tried to make that argument. The movie is not a Joker movie. The director himself has said that. He said that it's a different movie under the guise of a DC comic. And the movie is not about mental illness awareness. So here we go. There is a clear-cut scene.
Dude, we have 16 viewers on Twitch.
Yo, Most Def, thanks for joining us here on Blerd Lines on Nerd Unpacked. Please, if you are new to the stream from YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, as usual, add the page, subscribe, follow, and be active. Don't forget that you can call us with your opinions if you do not want to text them out. We will always get to everyone. So going on, there's a clear scene in the Joker movie where this man receives a gun. When he receives the gun, he goes home with it. When he goes home with it, he gets up and dances with the gun. Mm-hmm. He pretends to shoot people. Then there's the scene that comes later. This is where everybody says it's about a man's descent, right? Into madness.
Thank you, Ian and Sam, for hosting us on Twitch. Y'all are amazing.
Most def. So, and I'm just trying to get through this. I'm gonna address everything. So, then there's the scene where he's on the train. Mind you, he was minding his business. Mm-hmm. People came over. It made him emotional, right? He started laughing because there was the situation was uncomfortable with what they were doing to the lady on the train. Then they came messing with him, start beating up on him. He folded up as he did previously at the beginning of the movie, but this time the difference was he had a gun. Mm-hmm. Okay, these things allude to this has nothing to do with all the things people keep trying to make this movie out to be. This is about a false sense of power. It has nothing to do with his mental state. It has nothing to do with him being fed up. It had nothing to do with a descent into madness. Once he had a gun, he had a false sense of power. Now, I know there's going to be somebody out there who tries to refute that. But mind you, when he had the gun given to him, he didn't just have it and move around with it. He had it and he played with it. He knew what to do with the gun. He knew the danger the gun possessed. So he got up, and with that false sense of power, he started to dance. Then he played like he was shooting people. Bang, bang, until he put a hole in the wall. Then the difference between him getting his ass kicked by the kids and him getting his ass kicked by the Wall Street guys, he literally had a gun this time. Mm-hmm. Then more evidence is he chases one of them to a staircase, and then he commits conscious murder. He just starts laying into the dude, then he runs off with it. This is not about all the things people have tried to make it out about. It's about a false sense of power. There is a contradiction. At the end of the movie, when he's talking to Robert De Niro's character on the TV show before he blows his brains out, he says, I'm what you get when you push a guy to the edge. But that wasn't the case. He was already pushed to the edge. He was already there. He was already fed up. The issue was when he had the false sense of power. Once he felt that bloodlust, he was in love with it. And the movie shows you he continued to go down that path. It went from a gun to a stabbing. What is it? Even before the stabbing, he suffocated his mother. Mm-hmm. Like, no, this had nothing to do with all the things people keep trying to make this movie out to be. He clearly had a false sense of power and fell in love with the bloodlust.
Samantha said that's an interesting take.
I thank you, Samantha. Thank you. I am. You would be hard pressed to prove that wrong. Other than that, the movie's Trump propaganda.
I didn't get that deep into the movie because one, it's Joker, and I personally don't. It's like I personally do. When I went to watch that movie, like I didn't care to look deep into it. What you say makes a lot of sense. I'm still sticking with my opinion. I'm just saying I don't.
Yeah, because you're admin Blerd.
I don't care to. I don't care to look that deep into the movie.
But and that's fine. And so what you're saying now, like, I don't even think it's a care thing. People just don't see the movies the way that the director wants you to see a movie. That's just a casual thing people don't do. I, on the other hand, I just suffer from information. Like, so I see the movie the way that it's being presented.
Samantha just said something today that actually got me. She said, I haven't seen anything about the movie at all except for the staircase memes. Those fucking memes, I think those memes got that movie a lot of its fucking a lot of its viewers.
Oh man, I seen the
staircase memes?
the social media. Yeah. Oh
like
my
that
god.
got it fucking. I feel like that got it its giant push. That and it being named the Joker.
Yeah. Admittedly, once he dons the look, right, the movie is decent throughout. As you said, it's a decent movie. Once he dons the look, the movie's decent. It's worth watching from that point on, I'd say. But before then, there's so much propaganda in the movie. There's so many shots taken at Trump in this movie. It doesn't make any sense. And so, yes, I even commend you guys that don't see that when you watch the movie. You enjoyed the movie for some other perspective. But for any individual like me who saw the movie for what the director was putting on screen, it doesn't match up with what the community is trying to sell it as. It doesn't match up. It's not about mental awareness. It's and then there's that other thing too. People keep saying there's a twist in the movie.
There's not.
There's we don't know if it's in his brain or not. No, the movie is clear about which parts took place in his brain.
So there's again, I never really cared. For the most part, I tried to piece together what's real and what's fake. But there's scenes in the movie where the clock is all the same time, and people are like hinting that those are all in his mind. I haven't went back to watch the movies.
I'll debate those people. If you're paying attention to detail like that, why are none of you making an argument for the emphasis on his shoes?
Hey, look, I don't fucking know. I only seen the movie.
That's cool. But during the movie, I remember leaning over to the homie and I was like, yo, do you notice how much they keep emphasizing on his shoes? There was this huge emphasis over and over again in the movie where there was these close-up shots of his shoes.
Samantha said Blade never changes his mind for anyone.
Right, because he's admin.
You know me so well.
If y'all only knew what I had to go through to get here and how the hard time he gave me getting here.
The hard time I gave you to get here.
Hard time we're not getting into these politics.
I was about to say, you want to get into this? Do you really want to do this?
Hard time he gave me.
Do you really want to do this?
Yeah, we
can go there.
We can go.
I've been at work all damn day, and I've been at work all goddamn day, and I still beat this man here. He didn't get here till about an hour after I got here, which, yeah, offset some things. So yeah, and he talking about the hell that I put him through. You had all day to get here. I had an hour.
I was with a loved one on my way here who was having medical issues.
Samantha said y'all look like an old married couple.
That's like I think Samantha said that about us before.
I think she did.
Anyway, I assume both of us, right? That's our opinions on the movie, man. I wouldn't tell anyone not to go watch it, but I'm not suggesting that anyone goes and watches it.
I'm saying it's not as great as everybody's. I'm saying just because I'm saying the name Joker got its hype. It's not a phenomenal ass movie. It's still not top 3 DC movie.
And Joaquin Phoenix's performance is not phenomenal.
And that is the absolute worst fucking Joker on screen that we have gotten.
I want to address this too, because that's another thing people keep doing. Joaquin Phoenix performance is not new in this movie. If you've watched her, if you watch You Were Never Really There, if you've seen The Village, you've seen these performances from him before. This is not new. Just admit that you were never a fan of him until he donned your favorite comic character, who more than likely you aren't even a fan of to begin with.
I was just about to say, 9 times out of 10, you don't even know.
You know, the type to go around saying, oh, I want a relationship like Harley and Joker.
Not knowing
when you're the first person at the house party to be like, why did he hit her? So, no, that's our consensus. If you want to watch a really good movie experience, go see Terminator 3.
I knew it.
I said it. I plugged it. It happened.
I ain't even seen it yet.
All right, so we're going to take a moment out before we move to the next segment to catch up with you guys' comments. If you guys had shout-outs, or if you guys would still like to shout out, now is the time while we're going through the comments and trying to address every last one of you.
Samantha said, okay, so is it not an actual origin story? No, it's not an actual origin story. And this is a very good way to put it. Was it just the movie equivalent of clickbait? Yes, it was.
It's propaganda. It's strong propaganda against Trump. The movie is once again, the director himself said it's another movie under the guise of a DC comic. Like, when you watch this movie, even the Scorsese comment, which is actually in the script for us to talk about, the Scorsese comment even alludes to he was one of the producers on it. When they first promoted that this movie was being made, it was promoted as a Martin Scorsese movie. No, this is clearly not the intention they have to bring you a comic character that you know and love. No, there is nothing but propaganda in this movie. There are so many shots. Even the attitude of Thomas Wayne is a reflection of not the rich, but Trump.
I really just don't. Nothing about this movie screamed Joker to me, though. Like, just because he only took the name Joker because that's what Robert De Niro called him. Like, nothing about this movie screams this is a Joker movie. Nothing about this movie screams this is a comic book movie. I feel like it should have just been another Brightburn movie. Like, they should have just took it and ran with it and put it under its own name.
Right. Like, the most I will give you, and I'm trying to be fair.
I'm giving it a 5.
The most I will give you, not on a rating scale, but what the movie produces, is that as far as the Joker subject in the movie goes, that the movie is explaining to you that Joker is a necessary chaos. In order for people to listen, you need that one not person. Chaotic neutral, but that chaos itself. And that everyone was at their boiling point in the movie. The whole society, it literally opens up with, like, I think a TV or radio playing, and there's a speech going on, and it's the amalgamation we've seen movie and movie time again. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a necessary cliche in storytelling. But it establishes that everybody's at their ends. Even the lady that he would go see that was his counselor was losing her job and stuff. She says, hey, man, these people don't give a fuck about you. You know, even though he was just telling her, you don't give a fuck about me. Right? And so there's this tone that is like, though everybody knows something needs to be done, it takes the chaos in order to get it done. Right. So, yes, I will give you that element that the Joker is a necessary evil in order for people to pay attention. But you have nothing past that, because even again in the movie is consistently showing you Arthur isn't even really the Joker people care about. It's the symbol.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say on that.
I really
subject.
don't even want to talk about Joker, honestly.
Go see Terminator. Go see the new Terminator. It's awesome.
Go see Gemini Man.
I will see Gemini Man Sunday.
That is a good movie.
I'm going to see.
Go see anything that's not Joker.
Don't trust reviews, because on the way to the movies, actually, this past Sunday, my options was Gemini Man.
Should have took Gemini Man.
Terminator, and no. Terminator was a great movie experience. And so I looked at the reviews just to see what the consensus was. Not because I wanted them to dictate my choice. I just wanted to know what the consensus of the two movies was. And both reviews for both movies are horrible. But people's comments, right, like both of them like have low Rotten Tomato scores.
I don't trust Rotten Tomato for
right. You can't, because Peppermint on Netflix was great, yet they had a low score. And when you read the comments, people were like, I don't understand. I saw this movie. It was a great movie. I don't know what's wrong. I like this movie. People giving a synopsis to add context, and they're like, due to this context, I love the movie. Like, yeah, it's a great movie. So I'm assuming Gemini Man is going to be just as good.
See, let's see. Samantha said, no, Ian said, I got friends literally telling me that I'm doing myself a disservice. And I'm like, okay, what are you referring to? Are you referring to Joker? Because we were just talking about Joker. See, Samantha said, those people are the worst. Malik Turner, what's up, Malik? He said, The Village was trash also.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan back in the day could not end a movie for nothing, man. Oh my God.
Samantha said Harley and Ivy forever. I would always promote.
I think that's what he's saying. Those people are the worst. The ones that are always like, I want a relationship like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've always been a Harley and Ivy fan. At least Ivy cares for Harley.
Miguel says, shout out Miguel. Miguel says we should do video game scaling.
I feel like he just wants us to touch up on Dante. I feel like you just want to touch up on Dante.
Let's catch up. Let's catch up with everybody's stuff.
See, Ian says shout out to little admin Blade because he's gonna have to grow up with a daddy who just ain't right. Man, look.
He also says shout out to all the supporters of Tough Skin Comics. You guys are amazing, and we can't wait to prove y'all right for supporting us. I also share this sentiment. Thank you guys for the support you guys have given the company. It went from just being an idea to an actual monster. So I'm loving the progress that we have right now.
I'm gonna buy my son like a onesie, like a little fucking baby onesie. It's gonna be a Lakers onesie, and it's gonna say Little Blade at the back.
It's gonna be a Lakers onesie, and it's gonna have a Cowboys symbol on the feet.
I am not a Cowboys fan, so no.
That's what it's gonna be.
It will have.
It's got to be some kind of controversial mess.
It's gonna be a Lakers onesie.
It's not even gonna be a Lakers name on it. It's gonna say Cowboys and just have Lakers colors.
It's gonna be a Lakers onesie, and it's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna probably be the Panthers for like I don't fucking know, dude. I'm sticking with Lakers though. Chaotic.
Samantha was asking, does she want us to share to the page? Yes, I want everyone to share to every page.
This to every page that you have access to.
Share it to your grandparents. Your grandparents are people too.
I don't give a fuck if they watch it or not. I just want the view.
You're gonna have Ian talking about, man, you want them 3-second guys. All right, so that's our Facebook.
That's it with
what is our YouTube and Twitch?
YouTube's not really comments to see. Invincible said, I wish I hadn't had the exposition of Terminator spoiled for me.
Yeah, man. Let me address that. I always thought Hunter Ward was a cool dude in the community, man. When he, I don't know, man. When he did that, that really disappointed me. I never felt. I'm not gonna say never. I haven't felt that much disappointment in a human being in a long time.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't seen a full Terminator movie all the way through, so.
Oh, okay. You may not appreciate the new one because if you haven't seen,
which is why I'm not.
If you haven't seen 2, then you won't get a lot of the references. So you may not appreciate it, but it's still a great movie.
I'm not gonna go watch it, though.
That's fine. I'm just saying it's a great movie. Okay, so in Twitch, do we have any?
No.
Okay, so here we go. Also, I would like to point out, if you guys don't notice, we also have a new logo.
Yes. I forgot to point the logo out. If you look right here,
yo,
we have a logo now.
I gave you this because I am a huge Star Trek fan.
Dude, I'm gonna fucking do this shit. Like, I'm gonna start. Can we like have something like up here all the time so I can like just do this?
We need like a little King Kong that climbs like consistently while we're streaming.
We need get a fucking green screen for the background. Yeah.
So
So back let's see. Thoughts on the world doesn't know your thoughts on Scorsese trashing the MCU.
Oh, okay. So specifically Scorsese's comments, right? Dang, I thought we was off of this.
Not even just Scorsese. It's Scorsese, De Niro, who else?
Yeah, well, there was a director, and please forgive me, guys, for not knowing his name, but you can go look this up. There was a director who used Scorsese's own words against him. Scorsese's opinion on what is cinema. He made a comment years ago about the how directors have opinions on what true cinema is, and how really it's an experience. It's not some equated artistic situation everybody should take time out to waste their time with. And the director pointed out his quote about a true cinema should be an experience. And so that just debuffs anything Scorsese says. Look, I am of the mind that since the domination, and it is a domination,
you can't call it anything less,
of the MCU, Hollywood as a whole has had an issue with these guys because they make careers. They make going to the movies still a subject to talk about. Yeah. They crush other movies because it's not that it's not that Marvel even have anything in the theater. It's that, hey, if I'm going to spend my money and go to the theater, I want it to be worth it.
See a Marvel movie.
Yeah, and Marvel has yet to fail. You may be someone who disagree with the Marvel movie that came out, but you do not represent the 7.7 billion people that enjoy it.
And it sucks when you have a really good movie like what was it? It was what came out when Avengers came out? 2012. Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim was a good, decent movie.
Decent.
It was a good, decent movie, and it didn't do anywhere near what it should have done because Avengers came out and like killed the box office that year.
In Pacific Rim's somewhat defense, the second movie was better anyway.
Second movie was better.
Yeah.
Or when you find yourself as a franchise such as the X-Men franchise, which is like there's no way for you to fucking compete with this shit.
Right. When there's people who are pulling from the same place you're pulling from, but they're doing it right.
And they're doing it a billion times better than you. Like your best movie can't compare to their fucking worst movie. And it just sucks. Or when you're someone like Martin Scorsese who's never had a movie as successful as the least successful Marvel movie. And you just want to be a bitter ass old man.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I have said multiple times
you're a Scorsese fan. I'm not.
I'm a Scorsese fan. I've said I wish Martin Scorsese would work on one of the Marvel movies, and then the DC thing that happened, and it's like, yo, you took your bitterness and you did what Jason Statham did. I don't want to see you in the MCU now. I don't. No, because your attack is just an attack, and it's not coming from a real, genuine place. You're a horrible human being for even trying to create that narrative. Yeah. There's already people who want things for DC to happen that DC don't deserve, such as this Joker movie. This Joker movie does not deserve the success based on the tenements that have been set for it because the movie doesn't add up to those tenements. So, nonetheless, as a Scorsese fan, his opinion is mute by his own admission. So that's where I stand on that. And as Admin Blade said, he's not even a fan of Scorsese. So there's nothing more really to say.
I mean, only Scorsese movie that I've ever seen that I thought was decent was what? Taxi Driver.
I thought you were gonna say The Departed.
Nah, I didn't really give a fuck about The Departed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Samantha says favorite Starfleet captain. Oh man, I'm gonna have to say. So I just started watching Voyager series again. I am a fan of those three series of the Captain Picard, Captain Janeway, Captain Sisko.
I need to catch up on Star Trek so we can do this fucking Star Wars and Star Trek episode.
Yeah, you'll love it. So, because the major difference is Star Wars is all about conflict, and Star Trek is all about morality, ethics. Things that should be common sense to where our species is going.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then the science stuff in it is crazy. So here we go.
Yeah, because our the science is weird because
Star Trek creates a lot of things that even apply to actual real world science now.
Even when we're in a group chat and Mino keeps sending like all these Star Trek science facts, and I'm like, motherfucker, like I never knew half. Like a second to us. Or basically, if you take it, like, if you like the fucking what's that fucking ship? I can't think of the name of it.
Enterprise.
The Enterprise. Like how fast that bitch travels compared to light. Like,
yeah, a warp speed.
Like I didn't realize how fucking fast it was compared to light.
Now you see why I be mad in the community when I post a feat where Dante is fighting things at warp speed. And dudes be like, no, man, Goku's faster than light.
Well, I always knew Dante was like fucking. I always knew Dante was at least speed of thought. At least, at the very least.
Now, I never thought that, but I knew he was faster than light. Like, I knew that, but I didn't think speed of thought.
I always thought speed of thought. Simply because you've never seen Dante fight seriously. And his speed feats have always been the best out of the series. And there's some crazy ass fucking speed feats in the entire Devil May Cry series, and he's never fought seriously. So I always thought he was at least speed of thought. Even the rain scene itself, that the fact that him and Virgil cut literally every fucking raindrop before they hit the ground.
I can see that we're about to give Miguel exactly what he wants. But to answer this question, I'm gonna have to say. My God, because I'm changing what I would usually say. So admittedly, I would usually say Captain Sisko because Captain Sisko was a risky guy. He did the thing, like he was a take no shit kind of person, and he was super risky. Even in the war, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to get dirty. He got dirty. It backfired on him, but it worked out for the cause. and he was like, man, I'm just gonna have to live with this one. It's a burden, but I'm gonna have to live with this one. But Captain Picard has to be my favorite because the difference between Captain Picard and every other captain is that Captain Picard, not only did he quote the Prime Directive like every other captain, he lived by it. Every other captain swayed in some kind of way. Captain Picard did not sway. You could not sway him. It was all about what his focus was. Right. He was not changing his perspective for no one. If it meant he had to die, or as some of you might know, the video of him getting shot, even if it meant Captain Picard had to take a bow to the arm first, like, he was not gonna be persuaded. You could be his best friend, disagree all day long, show him what you think is the flaw, and he stuck to his grounds, and it always turned out to be the right choice.
I just want to point out that my meme is at 3.8K shares right now. Yo, this is success right now. Yo, like, motherfucker, 3.
So I hope I answered that question.
No, but so let's get back into this cinema shit. How do you feel? Who the hell? How do you feel about the fucking, what is it called? The Birds of Prey bullshit going on?
Not interested. Okay. Well,
I thought you'd be.
I don't know if you're referring to the movie or the drama behind the movie.
No, the movie.
Okay, so the movie I do think is going to be good.
Really nice.
I love Suicide Squad. I think it's the second best DC movie, and that's me saying Man of Steel is first, Suicide Squad is second, Aquaman third. So I see that there's a lot of anti-Birds of Prey thing going on. I understand why. It's not that they have a problem with the cast, is that they have a problem with the visual. There's not enough people like Harley Quinn in the Birds of Prey trailer. There are no costumes. Right? And so the humor doesn't hit home because it's not like you're looking at this person who's above the average person, and they're saying these quirky things. And that's how people are. We're visual animals. And for some of us who aren't as I know I'm gonna get some flack for this. For people who aren't necessarily intellectually driven, right, who don't ever see the bigger picture, and that's the context for which I mean intellectually, like, they take what they see and then they be like, that's not what I wanted. Right. So they don't care about the end product. I do believe that Birds of Prey will be good. Matter of fact, I'm a huge fan of the villain in the movie. His name eludes me right now, but he just did the Christopher Robins movie, which was phenomenal. And he's who everybody knows as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. So I think that the movie will be a good movie. I don't think it's going to be a phenomenal movie, but I do think it's going to be a good movie.
Speaking of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Invincible had...
Shout out to Nick.
Invincible had a very, 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 very interesting... Hold up real quick. Let me look. His name... He's playing Victor Zax, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, Zaz. Victor Zaz.
Whatever the fuck. Yeah, that guy.
The knife guy.
Yeah, that motherfucker. Anyways, so Invincible had a very good question, or look into yourself, or self-reflecting question. What Star Wars Jedi do you see yourself as?
Not a Jedi. So I am of the mind that the Force is stronger on the dark side, and I'll say exactly why. I went through like this little phase right before I got on Power Rangers. During, matter of fact, while the Power of the Grid story was still going, or the Fight for the Grid story was still going. So, when I was catching up with like stuff in Star Wars, right? There was an explanation about.
Oh, I stand corrected. He's playing Black Mask.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
I thought he was playing Victor's ass too.
Zax is still in there, but.
So I thought his character was Victor's ass too. So you're not alone on that.
Ewan McGregor's character is Black Mask, which. That might be a very good fucking cast.
So
I can definitely
see what I'm saying? Like, he didn't wear a black mask in the movie, so like people don't get it doesn't appeal immediately because they're not getting the result they want.
I think he's playing Black Mask before.
Yeah, and that still would be cool, but the problem is the way people perceive the movie is just not what they want. So
we have a caller.
Caller, you're on. Who are we speaking to?
Hey guys, what's up? It's Ian.
What up, Admin Invisible?
So look, first of all, congratulations on branching out to Twitch. Always good to see you guys continuing to grow your show.
No problem. Thank you, man. Thank you.
And congratulations, Lewis, of course, on the birth of your son.
Yes, thank you. Bouncing badass.
So the reason
baby
I
boy.
hit the dial button on my phone, aside from the fact that I always want to encourage people to call in and have their voices heard, that's why you have this amazing call line, is because Joey said this really like offhanded remark that I think he thought was going to like fly under the radar, but he just had the nerve to say that he believes that the dark side of the Force is stronger. And I would love.
I didn't get to explain. I did not get to elaborate. I did not get to elaborate. If we can interject real quick, right? The reason I say that is, once again, in Star Wars, there is a conversation that happens. And I believe this was with Darth Maul. And the explanation that's given is that the Jedis have this way of teaching you not to be emotional. And to tap into the true power of the Force on the dark side is to embrace your anger, your rage, to be an emotional person. So the more emotional you are, which people are by nature, even Jedis themselves, to be more emotional, you gain more power. That's not my opinion. That's something that is in the lore of Star Wars. I am a very emotional individual. I would forever pick the dark side over the light side of the Force.
Let me ask you this: do you think that cancer is more powerful than a healthy cell?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Okay, what if I told you that the Jedi are really just bad at public relations, and that the entire reason that people think that they're encouraged to be emotionless is from some sort of fear of emotion?
I mean, that wouldn't be incorrect. I mean, even if you look at stories with what's his name, Mace Windu. Mace Windu talks about these exact things.
Okay, let me ask you another question. Emotion. Would you describe emotion as a permanent like state of being, like that's or is it more of a temporary state of being?
That's contextual, right? Because to be in any state could be categorized as being of some emotional state, right? Even to be calm, cool, and collected could be. When we talk about
emotion, we describe it as moving from one emotion to another. You know, so there is an inherently like temporary, like way, you know, definition in there. You move from states of being emotion. You move from being angry to sad to happy.
Yeah, see, and where the conflict is with the Force and the dark side. Okay, cool. So both of our statements, well, this is aligning because there's the conflict is that you are not to be vengeful as a Jedi. You're not supposed to have this this buildup of animosities as a Jedi. As a person who gets emotional, you will experience things like the need for vengeance or the feeling to be vengeful. Animosities will happen, right? Even sometimes in a real world application, obviously, sometimes between friends, you know, there's these subconscious animosities that happen. So I would definitely consider that to be where the lines don't blur.
Okay, interesting. All right. Well, I'm not going to take up your whole show on this, but this is
you're fine. You're fine
for a conversation of at another stage.
Yeah, you're fine, Admin Invincible. Please.
But thank you for taking me a call, and I encourage everybody else to take advantage of that phone number 469-608-1886 to call these guys and like be part of the conversation. That's what makes, you know, a show like Blerd Lines so special. You guys have a good night.
You too, and I will be in Kansas in March. So we're doing a collaboration episode again. So that's gonna be fucking fun. Samantha said I knew Joey was gonna get himself in trouble with that comment.
I wish he'd have kept going, but for whatever reason, Admin Invincible broke out.
He
did say that he was trying to give other people a chance to.
Nick Thomas said, "Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't the Force work a lot similar to the ways of the Lantern Corps as far as using the powers?" I'm assuming he means like as far as concentration and feeding off of that emotion.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you're talking about the baseline, then yeah. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. The baseline is force of will.
But you said you don't consider you wouldn't align yourself.
I
with a
wouldn't
certain
align myself
Jedi.
as a Green Lantern either. Like, I would pick Rage over Green Lanterns. I would pick Greed over Green Lanterns. I would pick.
I don't think you would want. I don't think you would. So if we're saying if you were able to get Greed,
I would pick Ultraviolet over Green Lanterns.
I'd probably So if you could choose one ring,
It would be the stone ring that was in the beginning of Rebirth.
I would probably pick Greed.
Greed for you?
I'd probably pick Greed.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly,
No, I wouldn't pick Greed. 'Cause
Story-wise,
too much comes
the
with it. Never
Green
mind, no, I wouldn't.
Lanterns have been a force, and they're the police, right? So they have been a very powerful force, especially when in groups. But
Samantha says blue ring for her. Blue ring is pretty useless though, unless you're powering a green. Like the blue lantern, unless it changed.
well, I think that's higher tiers of the Blue Lantern,
I
right?
thought the
They
entire
enhance.
existence was to enhance exactly. So a blue
Yeah,
lantern
but that
ring
doesn't
would
make
be
them.
useless.
That wouldn't make them useless, though.
It's literally. I thought again, unless it changed. From what I read, a blue lantern ring is next to useless unless you're enhancing green.
For me, so what I'm about to say, it could be considered subjective, and I'll leave it at that. I won't even pretend that it's an objective opinion. So, by what is the Green Lantern, right? By what is a power of will? You're gonna have power of will as long as you're willing to go on, right? And if your vindication for going on is strong, so that's not necessarily powerful.
I probably have a yellow lantern ring.
To me, that's actually easily one of the weakest rings.
But I could definitely play off fear a lot easier than I could play off almost any other emotion.
I
Or rage.
would take I would
not
take the rage ring.
As much as I act like it, I don't play off rage a lot. I'd probably
Oh, we know you're a perpetrator. That's not up for question. We know you are a perpetrator.
I'd be a good fear monger.
I'm gonna go with orange for you.
All the shit that comes with orange. I don't want that.
You're over here freaking out about shares on the post, and you think you don't fit the orange ring?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want that power. Like I would want that power, but I wouldn't want the.
I wouldn't want that power. I would want that power.
I wouldn't want the drawbacks that come with having that power. Like, cause with Larfleeze, like everything, like he has that. I wouldn't want that. That overbearing greed that everything must be mine. Like, you realize he started a war because one motherfucker went into his sector of the unit. Like that offset an entire war for him.
Yeah. They don't necessarily have to have that personality to wield that ring. You just have to be greedy.
That's the ring will consume you with so much greed that it will. I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, but that's still a Larfee's characteristic. Like, we know for a fact throughout all the rings, your personality does not have to match the next man's.
Now, if I can have that ring without those drawbacks, I'd probably have greed because that's easily the most powerful to me.
I'm gonna pick rage because I am a scarred individual. And so I do have a lot of anger in me, but I have fought my entire adulthood to be better than my upbringing. So, and that's not saying my mother raised me wrong. It's just the other shit that was around my upbringing. So
Ian said Joey is referring to the Phantom ring, which is what you were talking about, the stone ring.
Yeah.
Samantha said, I think if I had the chance to dual wield blue and Star Sapphire, I think that would be a dope combo.
Now we're talking about dual wielding. I'm Phantom and White all day long. That's it. Phantom and White all day long. You can't stop me.
Damn. Fear and Rage.
I take two Phantoms.
I feel like Fear and Rage would be a dope ass combo.
Does anyone ever say death?
No.
Right? Nobody ever is like, I want to be a Black Lantern.
No, because you have to die. Let's see. Ian said Blue Lanterns are I can't read today. Canonically, the most powerful. Which, again, I thought they were useless unless they were powering another ring.
To me, when I was opposing you, I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, I know that they're probably at their best with other lanterns, which I'm pretty sure that is in the comics, but it wouldn't make sense for them to still be walking around with a suit, and the ring is just not working.
Ian said they can alter reality in the presence of a Green Lantern ring. Samantha said they have saved entire planets by cooling down their stars from going supernova. Fear can be conquered. I mean, any emotion can be conquered. if you really want to go that route. You can still be afraid, but as long as you stand up and keep fighting, fear is powerless. True, you're right. Yellow light was actually particularly effective against orange light in the Green Lantern comics. Again, this is me speaking DC, so a lot of my knowledge is still broken. But just from what I remember in that whole fucking Lantern War arc, first of all, orange was whooping everybody's ass left and right. And 2, blue was said to be useless unless it was powering green. This is just what I thought. I could be wrong. But
Hold the spot where we're at. I want to address this because you skipped over this. Nick Thomas says, "Bruh, you think Suicide Squad was a good movie?
I wasn't gonna touch
that movie. That movie was trash. There's so much wrong with the good soundtrack, though. Yes, that movie has a great soundtrack.
I wasn't gonna touch that. I purposely skipped over that.
Yeah, well, since Admin Blade doesn't want to touch on it, I'll keep this short and spicy. What made the movie bad? And that's that simple. Like, what made the movie bad?
Let's see. Enchantress's horrible belly dancing.
I enjoyed it though. So because you don't like it, that makes the movie bad.
That was horrible belly dancing.
But I enjoyed it though. Okay. She ended up being my favorite character. I'm actually attracted to that little white girl now with the big eyebrows.
Okay. Let's see what else. I feel like there was not enough Joker in that movie, because I definitely feel like that is
a huge consensus across the board.
That is the third best on-screen Joker that we have. Let's see.
You know, he's one of my favorites from what I did get from the movie.
I mean, I still have Caesar as number 1. I have Jack as number 2, and I have Leto at number 3.
And I have Jack number 1, Leto possibly number 1 as well.
You can't have 2 number 1s.
Why not, man? Leto, yes, doesn't have the screen time, but he's so believable as the Joker, so believable. And for me, that's the win with Leto. But once again, that's the thing. Like, your personal doesn't match what the movie actually offers. You know.
It wasn't that great of a movie to me. But then again, DC movies already have a low bar. Well, DC has a high bar.
And you love to express that.
DC has a really
DC standards. Y'all know he be saying that.
Let me rephrase
DC
that.
standards.
DC has a really high bar set by Man of Steel. It just has a really low bar for everything that's not Man of Steel.
But for me, once again, Suicide Squad is a great movie because when I saw it, it was a good movie experience. I didn't go in there with an expectation the movie did not promise me, and what the movie did give me was good. It deserves the part 2 that it's clearly getting. And when a movie is horrendously bad, you don't get a part 2.
I think. Well,
what? Well, what? Don't say anything with M. Night Shyamalan because he comes out his own pocket. Minnow, can I get some Carfax on the screen for that? Like, M. Night Shyamalan comes out his own pocket. All right, so
Dragon Ball Evolution was bad, and we're getting a part 2 to that.
So there's already a reason why that doesn't make any sense. Because for one, look how long ago that was.
Still getting a part 2?
No. 2, you know the production is going to be totally different this time. All type of other shit. Big differences here, buddy. Huge differences. Cast differences. Huge differences.
Fast and the Furious ain't that good. Fast and the Furious ain't that good.
Fast and Furious ain't. I don't know how that kept going.
Uh-huh.
But once again, somebody else who kept coming out their own pocket. That dude did keep coming out his own pocket. Yeah.
I'm trying to keep. I gotta pee. I'm like trying to like.
Go.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
I'm
so,
tough it out.
Is there anything else that you skipped over?
I'm not even reading the comments right now. I'm trying to like look up the Suicide 2 roster. Suicide 2 roster. See, Samantha said Joker was the victim of last-minute editing in Suicide Squad. He was.
He was also like Jared Leto himself was a victim of like politics. What do you call it? Hollywood fat cats.
Yeah.
Because he has been so humble in every like interview, and he's like, yeah, man,
I would out every single one of them motherfuckers there. It couldn't have been me.
Right. And we do know that Jared Leto is still the Joker. Right. And so there is something going on. He just recently said in an interview for his music.
It could not have been me.
Right. Like that he's looking forward to playing it, but he does understand how, character mantles work. It could go to anybody at any time.
So, next topic. What do you think about Marvel offering Hugh Jackman to Wolverine? Again,
I think that's crazy because me and you both said that they should bring them in. I remember when we had that talk after Logan.
Okay, I gotta go pee. I can't hold it.
Yeah. Okay. So we both had a talk or whatever in the admin chat about they should do that anyway. But there was that whole thing that Marvel had going on where they were like, I think Kevin Feige himself said it. He was like, yeah, man, it's Hugh Jackman's a great actor, but we want to go with the Marvel theme. We want to go with like our vision of what these characters will be. So we're more than likely going with a new casting. So going back on that, I don't understand why they do that. So let me catch up with the chat, y'all, because he was ahead of it more than me. Okay, Nick says, and shout out to Nick Thomas. Nick says, Star Wars Episode 1 was terrible, and we got 2 and 3. But it wasn't terrible, though. Star Wars Episode 1 was not a terrible movie. So I was not a Star Wars fan, obviously a Star Trek fan. And I remember going to GameStop. I went to GameStop and Star Wars Episode 3, the video game, was on the shelf. And I was like, you know what? The lightsaber really appealed to me. Just being honest, it was the lightsaber. So I get the game. I go up to the counter and the dude's like, hey, you know this movie comes out today? I was like, oh, really? Now, this was early in the day when I did this. I thought I was just going to leave, go home, play a game, and then go grab a bite to eat. So anyway,
What are we talking about?
Answering this question.
What question?
Nick Thomas says Star Wars Episode 1 was terrible and we got a 2 and 3. And so I go see the movie, right? And now there's a long line outside the theater. This was a theater that's not even open anymore. This used to be a theater. No, it was the City Place. When you go to City Place.
City Place had a movie theater?
Yeah, so when you leave City Place, right across where that Kroger's is now, that used to be, it was Lowe's Theater, I think is what it was called. And so
I stayed in the hood, so I was
traveling out the hood to see movies at this theater. That's where I saw Spider-Man 2 actually. So
actually, no, around that time I stayed in Cedar Hill, so I definitely didn't know.
To elaborate, I'm in the line. I meet all type of cool people, man. There was a dude that was here from New York just to see this movie, man. Because I guess at that time it showed here first or something like that, or it was showing here earlier. And he was a huge fan, man. He had like all these tattoos and stuff. Now, this is important to me because when I got in the theater, right, this is clearly from the episode series. It's 1, 2, and 3, right? I'm on the third movie when I get introduced to this universe. So when I get in the theater, it's packed, bro, and there's people who are dressed as Obi-Wan and Anakin. Now, mind you, I ain't seen the movie. I don't even think now one of them have seen the movie. And they have a fight scene in front of the screen. How they work that out with the theater, I don't know. But they have a whole fight scene and they do trivia. Mind you, I don't know anything about this universe. And while they do trivia, I answer questions that just seem right. So, like, I leave with paraphernalia when this movie is over. I won things from the trivia. But, and that was just because I saw their little play, and the things I learned from the little play, I learned. And then, of course, obviously later the movie, it was like, okay, cool, I feel really good about this. Those guys did a great job doing a reenactment for something they hadn't even seen yet. That's the third movie in the series. That made me go back and watch 1, 2, and then 3 again, and I still enjoyed them. I would argue that as somebody who's not a fan of that universe, as just a moviegoer, it was only episode 1, 2, and 3 that made me interested in Star Wars to begin with. It wasn't the old Star Wars with Mark Hamill and I forget the other guy's name.
Henry Ford.
Yeah, like it wasn't those guys that got me interested. Harrison Ford. It wasn't those guys that got me interested in the Star Wars universe. It was episode 3 and then going back and watching 1 and 2. I enjoyed that. And once again, that's me as a moviegoer. That's not me as a Star Wars fan.
You know what got me into Star Wars? And it's not the movies. It's going to be something really weird. I had a Nintendo 64 as a kid, like any normal guy.
Don't say the racing game.
The racing game got me into Star Wars. Yes, that racing game got me into Star Wars. And then I got an Xbox, and Star Wars had this game that came with like the demo pack, and I started playing that, and that kind of like furthered it. But aside from that, yeah, it was the racing game that like got me into Star Wars.
Yeah, so to answer that, because it's important that we get to everybody, but to answer that, like, yeah, bro, like, this is a problem even for things I like, man. Even for things I like, because Age of Ultron I loved, and I know there was a group of people who said it wasn't good, and even I was like, I wish. Now, first off, the person who played Ultron, I love him.
The first time I saw it, I said it wasn't good.
Right, and the first time I saw it, I was like, man, I wish he would have been more on the screen, but I still liked the movie, and I couldn't understand why people didn't like it. And then when I saw it more again, because I've probably seen it 6 times now, I love the fucking movie. The movie's super important to the universe.
You know what?
But I have to keep in mind that my opinion of being an Ultron fan from the comics is not a reflection of what cinematography is offering with these stories. Like, all that matters when you go see a movie isn't what you personally know. What matters is what the execution delivers, and that's from the writing, the lighting, the directing, the scene shots, because that is important.
Age of Ultron is a touchy one because you don't get a lot of it until you watch Infinity Wars and then go back and rewatch it. Like, it's one of the only, I think it's the only movie in the MCU that you literally have to go back and rewatch after Infinity War.
See, and I don't have that perspective, but that's a great perspective. For people who have saw Infinity War, didn't like Age of Ultron, this might be the best time for you to go back now. Because I didn't have that perspective. I watched the movie, obviously, again before Infinity Wars, and I was like, that's crazy. All that talk about Hawkeye not being portrayed correctly, the movie portrays Hawkeye super correctly. Like, there's a scene I love to point out to people that I didn't notice at first. There's a scene where Ultron is running off with the Ark or the Covenant or whatever we call in the little thing that that Ultron's body was in. When he runs off with it, and they are trying to find Ultron in this city while in a ship with all this technology, Hawkeye simply looks through the floor, and he's like, "Oh, I got eyes on him." Like, that's amazing. Hawkeye shoots at a rapid pace. There is literally a scene where you see Hawkeye like holding like a load of arrows and just like turns out the door and takes out everything that he shot at.
The most Hawkeye thing in probably all of MCU is when he shoots the ceiling from he shoots the floor from under Quicksilver. When he's like everybody else is getting hit by this shit like multiple times, but it's like, okay,
No,
motherfucker, you caught me with that shit.
Quicksilver is great. Point.
You caught me with that shit one time. You will never catch me with that shit again.
And it wasn't just Quicksilver. The Scarlet Witch. He was like, "Oh, that mind thing. I've been there before.
That mind shit.
You're not
Yeah,
gonna get me."
yeah,
Mind you, she took down Thor. She took down Captain America. Like, no, and she even got to Hulk. Like, Hawkeye, like in the comic books, was the one guy still standing in the situation with Ultron. If you haven't read the Age of Ultron story, when I think it was while Sam Wilson was Captain America. If you haven't read that story, and I might be wrong, but nonetheless, like, it's the Age of Ultron where he comes back from space, right? And when you read that story, everybody's doing a horrible job at being a hero. Horrible job. Guess who saves the day? Hawkeye, being annoyed by Captain America and Ant-Man. He was like, "Oh my God." He was like, "Yo, we gotta save the world. You don't want to save the world? Fine, I'll do it." Boom. He throws an arrow, attaches Ultron to a rocket, sends him away, even though he ended up causing a bigger problem. Nonetheless, he saved the day that day.
No, but okay, so when it boils down to it, Hawkeye's probably the most accurate.
Right, like when it boils down to it, he is probably the most accurate character on screen. He is one man in a group full of like gods doing his thing.
God damn it.
And most of the time, he's not relying on them. The difference between him and Romanoff is she's relying on them.
Shit, he points that out in Age of Ultron too. When he's like having the shootout with
he's like, and I have a bow. None of this makes sense.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Shit, God damn, I'm still learning.
And that's
about
crazy.
This movie.
You think that's them making fun of him through the movie, right? That's not the case at all. That's actually a conversation he had with Spider-Man in the comics.
When he's like, I fight alongside God's giant rage, which is what a rage monster from Stark came from. I fight along God's rage monsters, super soldiers, and other enhanced beings. I have to be better than him.
Right, like, and he does. For those of y'all who enjoy Elseworld stories, look what he did to Captain America in the Ultimate Universe.
Love it.
Embarrassed
Love
him.
it. Fucking love
Embarrassed Spider-Man. Do you understand who Spider-Man is? Man, let's get to these comments, man.
Yo, you know what? We completely fucking strayed off the goddamn topic of fucking video game tiering that we were supposed to touch on
so
today.
yeah, let's do that for Miguel. All active people right now, if you do not mind, if you have a question about a video game character that you want scaled, now would be the time to throw it in there.
Dante is beyond tier. I'm gonna get that out the way right now.
Yeah.
Dante should never be paired up with Dante and Virgil should be off limits.
Admin Blade just took
Should
me
be
right into
no
it.
one. Honestly, I feel like the whole Devil May Cry series, because even their
We've said that
villains,
before.
even Nero, like motherfuckers are beyond damn near anything else that's ever touched a video game.
I am the biggest Devil May Cry fan in the world. I will argue that with anyone. And even today, I learned things about Devil May Cry that just came to me out the blue. I was like, yo, you know what just hit me? Dante's the only one that can damage Gilgamesh, which Gilgamesh is a material in Devil May Cry. For those of y'all who know about Devil May Cry 4, Dante kills one of the gods and he creates these gauntlets that had like thrusters on them and stuff, right? Now, that material is super fly to me. And then Devil May Cry 5 comes out and he makes a bike out of the same thing, right? So probably the greatest weapon of all in Devil May Cry is the motorcycle twin blades, right? Twin chainsaw blades, mind you. So
Just had to throw chainsaws in there.
This is crazy because as much as I like that, I didn't never notice until today that when Nero goes up against a creature that's made of Gilgamesh, he couldn't do anything to it. But Dante absolutely looked at what one piece of Gilgamesh did to an object behind him, and he crafts a whole bike out of it. He just starts slicing into it like it was nothing. Nero couldn't do that. Like, but they're all offsprings of Sparta, and if you know the universe, like they're all offsprings of a demon who essentially became God for 2,000 years. So this is crazy. The power of these characters are beyond crazy.
You know what I think it is? It's because it's a video game. Which people haven't read any of the Devil May Cry novels
Or watch the anime.
or watched the anime, which would give you a better understanding. It's not going to give you that full understanding, but playing a video game still gives you, because as I said earlier, even with Virgil, we've never seen Dante and Virgil fight seriously. Never. Even when they're fighting each other, they're not fighting. They're joking around half the times when they're fighting each other, because they're the only two that can actually handle each other. Like, if it came down to it, like with Devil May Cry 5, people always say, oh, Virgil lost to Nero. Like, had that been a real fucking fight, Virgil would have fucking dogged Nero.
Right.
Had that been a
So
real fucking
and the
fight.
game shows you, for anyone trying to proclaim that Nero beats he beats Virgil in a non-serious fight. Immediately after you see Dante in Virgil punch him in the face, like, no, we're gonna go off and save the world now. We're done playing around.
Okay, yeah, there's
and
nothing
then
you could do to stop us.
also,
Like, just
what
stop.
you clearly don't understand the context around that. V, who is
Virgil's
a
human
segment,
side.
his human side, gets to spend time with Nero in the story. He gets to. First off, this is the human side too. This is the side that embraces things like poetry, literature. So like, he gets to know Virgil. He even referred to Virgil like, I'm sorry, not Virgil. He gets to know Nero. And initially he's referring to him as just a kid, right? Yeah. He didn't see him as necessary. He even tells him, he's like, yo, we need Dante. We don't need you. You can't help us.
Yeah,
Dante can.
You're not the one that's
right.
No,
and when it's all
you're
said
good,
and
kid,
done,
but you're not what we need.
Right, like, and so when it's said and done, and he fuses back into Urizen and makes the Alpha and Omega Virgil, like, there's this part of Virgil now who went from when Dante says, yeah, you know, Nero is your son, he's like, oh, well, that was a long time ago. He went from, oh, I didn't know I had a son, to, yeah, okay, the stuff that I experienced as my half V with him makes me have some kind of love for him. If you understand the universe, you understand that there's these tones that clearly these characters portray, and you know when they're doing what. That's like in Devil May Cry 3, people thought Virgil was a villain. Virgil's not a villain.
He's not.
He's not a villain. Now, Devil May Cry 5, you can argue he's a villain because he didn't care about people's well-beings. Devil May Cry 3, it wasn't that he didn't care about people's well-being, it's that he summons Tim and the Gru. And Tim and the Gru was a necessary thing to unlock And mind you, it all was in a castle, right? It was in a small location. So like, well, not a small location, but in a
compared to them, it's a small location,
right? And compared to the way it is in 5, because
Yeah.
5 affects the world. But and with Tim and the Gru, it was like, in
city.
order for me to access what I need to access to get revenge for my mother's death, I have to go through this place first. This is the place that's gonna bring the fusion between both worlds that my father separated. So his whole thing isn't about being a villain. It's just he's a hurt child who's been trying to get revenge since he was a kid. He literally was stuck training the moment he got separated from his mother.
Yeah,
he had
and even
been
then,
fighting his whole life.
And even then, he's always had that resentment, thinking that his mom didn't care for him.
Yeah, didn't come for him, right? And 5 touches on that. Even the comics touch on that, right? So I don't understand. I don't understand this jumping into these misconceptions about these characters. So jumping right into like the power scaling, it's this simple, man. And I know in the community people hate to see it when I show up with them facts.
Dante Virgil beyond tier. There's no tiering for him.
And you can simply say that not by Virgil becoming
Alpha and Omega.
Let's not even go that high. You literally see Dante embarrass a character who was moving at a unconceivable speed, and at its base form the character was warping. For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who want to teach the rest of the community, warping and teleporting are not the same thing. To teleport is to fold time and space and move to another time and space, another space within time and space, right? It's to go from one place to another place instantaneously by not by travel, but by simply moving your matter, right? When you say warping, as Admin Blade stated about the Star Trek ship Enterprise, you are going light speeds, like not one light speed, you were going hundreds of light speeds. Like you were just traveling at a crazy pace. Like,
so this is what I think the misconception is. In a real world sense, there's no such thing as instant. Warping can be considered as instant because it's happening fast. I mean, not warping. Teleporting can be considered as instant because it's happening faster than we can think about. But at the same time, we've seen Flash beat teleportation,
which he did. Through a tunnel, because the Speed Force is a tunnel. It's not an actual.
It's not an actual.
It's a highway, right? It's not an actual traveling speed. What we're talking about here with Devil May Cry characters, namely
Virgil
and Dante, these characters are actually traveling.
It's actual movement.
They're not using this
ability.
What would you call it? This Deus Machina, like the Speed Force, right? They're not using this conduit to go from one place to another. Clearly, when Dante turns around and was like, "Boom! I seen you coming from a long way." When this character was moving at an unconceivable speed, literally the description says like he is just it's not even time and space he's moving through anymore. That's what the description says. He's moving, so it's not even warping at that point. He's moving at a speed that time and space doesn't even matter to.
I look at it this way. Devil May Cry 4. This is my favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's just the go. You can't argue it. Mundus at one point became arguably the most, well, it was said Mundus became the most powerful person in all of creation.
Yeah, he was. Where you first get the inclination of the Quifod fruit in 5.
Yeah.
Mundus ate the Quifod fruit to become the king.
Dante embarrassed him without even trying. And it's just okay, this motherfucker, we know how powerful motherfuckers are in Devil May Cry. Mundus became the most powerful being to ever be created. Never mind Sparta at this point, because again, he's beyond Sparta, who was God for 2,000 plus years. Mundus transcended that, and Dante just jokingly embarrassed him. Like it was a joke to him.
And I know people try to say, well, Mundus wasn't that powerful, you can't scale him. Yes, you can. The creator, the original creator of Devil May Cry, the guy who went on to make Bayonetta, the original creator, said and confirmed that Mundus did create a universe equal to our own when he fought Dante. To fight Dante, he created a universe for them to fight in. People who say Dante isn't a planet buster, do you not realize
that
in
Dante
that
broke
fight,
that fucking universe?
in that fight, they are throwing meteors, and Dante, for my Dragon Ball Z fans, throws a dragon punch, a celestial dragon, not like some energy formed dragon, a celestial dragon at Mundus. Like, he throws it at him. If you don't know, go look up the YouTube video. Like,
Malik said y'all the only reasons why I want to read Hawkeye comics.
yeah, Hawkeye's great. Admittedly older. You don't necessarily want to read a solo Hawkeye comic. You want to read like Avengers World
and Ultimate, the Ultimates run, or even Old Man Hawkeye comic.
Yeah, the Ultimate Universe run. He doesn't mean Ultimates the team. He means Ultimate Universe run.
Ultimate Universe. I'm sorry, but even the Old Man Logan shit, the shit that Hawkeye does in Old Man
as
Logan,
an old man,
it's still fucking amazing.
Great. I own a couple solo Hawkeye things. The reason why I say you don't want them, it's not that they're not good, it's that they're not focused on Hawkeye. It's more so about Hawkeye and his protege. So Hawkeye's a great character. There's no reason not to read him. Especially there was a run that's actually pretty good for some people. I'm not a Deadpool fan like that, but there's a story with Deadpool and Hawkeye that's pretty good. Check that out.
I think that was when they were pairing Deadpool with everybody, when they did like Deadpool and Cable. They did Deadpool and Wolverine for like the 100th time. Then they did Deadpool and Sabretooth. I think that was around that time.
Oh man,
Devil May Cry shit got you hot, huh?
It makes me mad, man. Because in the community, people they scale bad. They scale really bad. They overhype, and it's like with the Dragon Ball Z versus Dante thing that's been going on this past week, like. Bro, you're talking about something you have no confirmation for in the series. How are you even a fan, for one? But you're talking about something you have no confirmation for. I'm literally showing you that we have confirmation for how broken this character is. What are you talking about?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Who else in video game lores that get tiered badly?
Asura.
Really?
Asura definitely gets tiered badly. Was it that me and you going back and forth?
Probably was.
Or was it me and Static
I don't know.
going back and forth about Asura versus Thanos?
I definitely said Thanos beats Asura though.
Yeah, and that's not close. Once again, the Alpha Omega thing, like Asura actually stood up to his. Though admittedly, he had the mantra to do it, which was his daughter. He had that boost from his daughter to do it. So after that, you could argue no. But you can't also argue when he did that fight, he wasted all of it and then he just beat the bean straight up with them hands.
Even then, I don't know. I don't see with that whole. I don't consider the Street Fighter universe as powerful as.
Asura's not from the Street Fighter universe.
I mean, not Street Fighter. I'm sorry.
They crossed over with him.
They crossed over with
and
him.
and
I don't consider the Asura's wrath the whole because you talking about when he fought the big fucking when he had.
The one with the
giant
split
Buddha.
face.
I'm talking about like the giant Buddha.
Oh, that too. That's all the same fight. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking about. So I don't. I feel like it was. I feel like he got giant. He was giant. He was like So, like you said, it was the incantation that helped a little bit, and then his daughter's fucking power or whatever. It just. I don't feel like that universe is as powerful as people make it seem. I don't think it's not enough content in there to put him up against Thanos, especially from what we're seeing. Like, we've seen Thanos do some crazy shit, but like the shit he's doing lately, I don't think Asura is standing up to that.
Why would what?
Like, okay, so Thanos.
Okay, so you're saying current Thanos?
Like Thanos taking out the one above all.
Okay, but mind you have to remember Thanos didn't do that as Thanos. He did that with conduit, and now I could go here.
Yeah, but still, he did it.
Yeah, no, I'm not taking away that he managed it. I'm just saying that you have to keep in mind that was not a base Thanos. In this conversation, base Asura did that.
Even then, base Thanos still takes out Galactus.
He doesn't take out Toa though. And even then, Toa doesn't have any feats. So I still don't even know how you measure Toa.
Because you can't argue that he's the end all. He's the end all be all.
I would argue that there's more credibility in like the heart of the universe.
Yeah, but that's not a living being.
Eternity.
You don't fight the
infinity.
You don't fight the heart of the universe though. It's just a.
But I'm saying like Thanos did become death. He became death. That is a feasible entity that's crazy powerful. He became eternity and infinity. That is a crazy powerful entity. Like
currently, he is the universe.
Yeah, he is the body. I don't think he's the fermented level though, but he is the body of the universe.
I just don't see Asura taking out Thanos.
No, that's cool because you're talking about Thanos right now, which is cool.
Even Thanos right now, I don't see Asura taking out Thanos.
Yo, I don't see Asura.
We're talking about Thanos who without all his amps.
Okay, so without all amps,
at full power, fucking took out Phoenix Force easily. Not the human, like the embodied, like Phoenix, like the Phoenix. He took it out by itself. No issues whatsoever. Like he toyed with it.
But keep in mind, the Phoenix Force has been destroyed before, though. But we know that you can't truly destroy the Phoenix Force because
it's always going to.
As long as it exists in a multiverse, then So
as long as it's the whole destruction incarnate bullshit. But at the same time, this is somebody who did it. And he wasn't serious about it.
And don't forget, Iron Man busted it. That's fact. Phoenix Buster actually busted the Phoenix Force.
Okay.
Just saying, like, this isn't a totally unconceivable thing to get rid of it, especially at Thanos' base power level.
We're talking about Stark, who's
not Thanos.
Third best.
Not
top 5
Thanos.
Top 5 characters when it comes to prep time. Tony Stark goes on that list, and he didn't just come up with Phoenix Buster off the top of his head. There was some prep in that.
Whether you talk about prep or not, this man with nowhere near the power of Thanos, who, mind you, does have gadgets and stuff, right? Like busted a being like the Phoenix Force. I'm just saying,
with hella prep.
Thanos doing it, it's not a far-fetched being to compare it to. And I'm not discrediting the feat. I'm saying
Thanos did it with no prep. At a
base. That's not fair because everything Thanos do is like strategically planned out.
All Thanos said was, "Hey, give me my full power and let's go."
But it's still planned out. It is Thanos. By proxy, everything Thanos does.
He didn't
everything Thanos does.
He didn't plan on. I don't think he planned on Thane coming to fight him with the full power of the Phoenix.
Everything Thanos does is planned out. It's strategic. Remember, he bullies him. He knew what the agenda was the first time he was there. Then when he ends back up there with Thane, he was like, all right, let's have it out, son, because you're not doing anything I ain't done before. Right. That's nothing. That once again, that is Thanos as a character. But he is not Asura. Once again.
How is he not? So do you think Asura would have took out the Phoenix Force?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think Thanos would have handled?
See, this is the problem with Skelly. You don't understand the Asura universe.
Do you think Thanos could have taken out the god in Asura's universe?
With amps, yes.
Is that incantation an amp on Asura? On Asura's part?
The thing that floats behind him?
Yeah.
Yes, that is.
Okay, so if we're
and I said that I was like,
if I'm giving
he
Asura
did have an amp.
If I'm giving Asura an amp, I'm giving Thanos an amp.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely giving that fight to Thanos.
All right. So once again, and we both agree, with an amp, Thanos probably could do that.
Without an amp.
But without an amp, no. Keep in mind, it took Asura getting an amp. He had all this unlimited mantra, right? Mm-hmm. He got from what you said, the Buddha with all the arms, right? He went from that state. I don't even think that's Buddha. Like,
I don't think
but
it's Buddha.
he went from all that state.
It's not Buddha.
I don't want to say it's Ganesha or either, because I'm pretty sure Ganesha was the one with the elephant head. But he went from that state. He went from fighting that thing with all that and having the upgrades, and then he didn't have them when they were down to their last bit, right? When they were fighting outside of existence and all that shit. Like, he beat him with the bare hands because his daughter was like, no, if you destroy him, you'll die too. Everything will be gone. I mean, and Asura was like, man,
theoretically speaking,
he shouldn't have made you cry.
Theoretically speaking, Hank Pym could choke out Infinity because he can grow to that size. So are you still gonna say Hank Pym is that
Wait a minute,
level?
growing to that size and then actually grabbing the universe is two different things.
You don't think Hank Pym could grab the universe?
I do not think Hank Pym could grab the universe.
think he
Do you have a feat for that to match it?
All I'm saying
No,
is-
you don't.
All I'm saying is Hank Pym can grow to the abstracts of the universe.
He is not abstract though. In infinity and eternity
he-
are abstract.
In theory,
Not in theory.
he could choke one of them.
Not in theory.
1-800 choke that hurt.
Why are you trying to sell this? I lost the feed on our screen.
Yeah.
So if you guys are commenting, I can't even see it right now.
Nah, I don't think nobody else is commenting right now.
Do you still have it? It's not even on my screen.
All I know is I'm at 7,000 shares.
Oh, good shit. Good shit. Let's see.
I feel like I'm gonna get all of Texas to share this. Anyways, let's see. That's because Ian went live already. Massive content.
No, I'm not even seeing this in the feed now.
Anyways, we're gonna have to end this stream today, you guys. It is definitely getting late. We started late as shit, and it's 9:45. I gotta work in the morning. Yeah, so thank y'all for tuning in to Blerd Lines. Next episode, we will have a lot more. We will be on time next episode.
I mean, I don't control the weather. I ain't Dante.
We'll be on time next. We'll be on time next episode. Yeah. So in the meantime, I believe it is this Saturday at noon. You can catch Aqua Team Nerd Force on this exact same channel. They do a really good job. I'm not sure what they're going to talk about this Saturday. Last Saturday, they talked about love languages and all of that.
You
fun
were a
shit.
part of that?
I was not a part of that. I was at work.
Cool. Like, anyway, and also again, thank you guys for joining us. Please continue to do what you've been doing. Congratulations to Twitch for having us be part of their collective.
Yeah, man, look, I thought we were never going to get Twitch, but I was wrong.
Good night, guys.
Yo! I'd like to thank y'all for joining me today, this evening. But I got a lot on my mind and I'd like to address it. So vibe with me. I feel like they've just awoken the beast. If I'm right, no more numbers asleep. Beats will snare to the beats. Hearts are marching the streets. Core stored in the fleets. Nothing hard but the seats. How are we to succeed? We aren't allowed to breathe. Drowning without a cease. Seeing flesh compounded on peeps. We weaves increase to a cease. Many me's becoming extinct. Mother's birth ends as a leash. Father's done rebel the breach. We go through this without a choice. No King Malcolm's to spark our voice. They exclude to make fires moist. Only truth I'll exploit. In hopes I said something that's worth the quote. Lights finally come on. Your mind's running off of a boat. Look. Let's be more outspoken. A passion that starts open. Now I know that most of your palms closing, but please spread a wing and signal righteous motion. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light. Can't burn through our light. I'm supposed to be here tonight, but hope I can live for the fight. Live for the fight. I just wanna make things better to the point things couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light. Can't return to life. Now I know that's easier said than done, ain't it? Such a beautiful people, they can't but burn hatred. I know it said the grass is greener on the other side, but even at such a height, you're only such a size. Tell me, would you tell a cat it ain't a cat king? Because it's got a patch and it ain't one color scheme. I tell a dog it can't go around wagging its tail, cause it ain't long enough, I have a fluffy curl. Those analogies for reality. Simple patterns when using human morality. I'm not trying to argue any ideology. I'm just speaking on the ideas we all can see. Yo, I believe in a better tomorrow. As sure as the moon leaves and the sun follows. Sure, the gravity on this earth is borrowed, and the weight we bear have been more than a carload. But y'all know a helping hand is impartial. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light. Can't burn through our light. I'm supposed to be here tonight, but hope I can live for the fight. Live for the fight. I just wanna make things better to the point things couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light. Can't return to life. Okay. Tell me something, yo. When did it become okay to let a change fade away? When did it become okay to let a change fade away? To let a change fade away, a change fade away, to let a change fade away, to let a change fade away. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn through our light. Can't burn through our light. I'm things better till when things couldn't be better, couldn't be better. So put your hands in the sky and pray they don't burn so my light can't return to life. You can't replace a light. You can't replace a light. You can't replace a light. You can't replace a life. You can't replace the 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 life. You can't replace a life. You can't replace a life. You can't replace a life.